Hey guys, welcome back to another video. It is me, Mysterious Caraman, and today we're gonna be talking about X-Men 2000. So this is part of my everyday July reviews. This is probably going out on July 1st. I'm not very sure yet, but we're gonna be reviewing all of the X-Men films going up to Deadpool 3. I'm rewatching all of them and talking about them. And yeah, that's all I have to say. Let's just jump right into this thing. This fan film, I will say, this not fan film. I'm oh my god. I will say that I went into doing all these X-Men reviews, looking forward to a few films, but the films that I'm looking forward to are way later. So I was kind of like, let's just try to get through this one. And I won't say this film was bad necessarily, but this film also wasn't very good. I think this film is praised more than it should be. I feel like I'm going to say that more when it comes to X2 because I'm personally not the biggest fan of that film, but I also haven't rewatched it yet, so I don't really know. But as it comes to this film, I think this film doesn't age as well as people want it to age, and it also just isn't such a great film. This was really before Spider-Man and Avengers, so I can't really say, like, it didn't have a formula, which I have heard from people that's a good thing about it. But this fan film, oh my god, I can't. If I say this fan film, I'm talking about X-Men 2000, okay? But I've been watching a ton of fan films this week. I'm going insane. But this film has a lot of good things. And then there's just some things that I just don't love about it. Hugh Jackman's Wolverine is very good. I think that there's no complaints I have about this version of Wolverine. I think he's probably the best part of the Fox X-Men universe. And I think it's mainly because of this film. I think he does a great job portraying Wolverine in this. I think also Rogue. I know a lot of people don't love Rogue in this. I think she's very good in this, actually. She and Wolverine are probably two of my three favorite characters in this. Actually, no. I disagree with that a little bit. I like both of them, but I think they're pretty much overshadowed by Patrick Stewart and Magneto. I think those two they have such a good dynamic in this film, in this universe. And they're also two incredible actors. But I think part of it that kind of shocks me almost is how good they are in some scenes. Yet, I feel like they have such good chemistry together, but they don't have such good chemistry with some of the other actors, I'll say. I think they work very well together, but in some scenes, I just don't love them. Magneto's plan, I don't hate it, I just don't think it's that good. Like, I think Magneto's plan, almost, is like the reverse of what Magneto should want. He wants to annihilate the other people, not turn them into mutants. So I think that was just an odd decision, script writing-wise, like that story-wise. I think that was a very interesting plot choice. But I don't think it was necessarily bad. I just didn't love it. I think overall, this film is pretty much the middle of the middle in the X-Men. There are some bad X-Men films. And I'm excited for Dark Phoenix and Last Stand. But I think the issue with this trilogy is it just isn't that good. And I'll say the new X-Men trilogy is just better than this. First Class and Days of Future Past, I haven't rewatched any films besides X-Men 2000. But I will say with certainty right now that X-Men First Class and X-Men Days of Future Past are going to make that trilogy so much better than this one. Because I know X-Men 3, I hate it. And I also know that X2 is, I think, overrated so much. Because I think X-Men X2 is liked so much because it is in between two very bad films. I wouldn't say this film is even that bad. But I think it does a very weird job at introducing mutant abilities. And then it doesn't do a good job at making us care about these characters. We have Storm, Cyclops, and a few others that I feel like we don't get any character development for. I'm very excited to see what they do in X-Men 2, because I do remember enjoying that film. I want to make it clear, I don't hate it. But I think this film, part of the issue with it, is the Wolverine Rogue show. And then you also have Professor X and Magneto. But besides from that, the other X-Men don't really matter in the story. And the other thing, this film is short. I think it's like an hour 30 or an hour 45. And compared to, like, it has a huge ensemble cast. And it doesn't do the story well. I did like that we didn't spend time gathering the X-Men together. They were kind of a thing, and they gathered Wolverine to it. I thought that was actually an interesting, good choice. But they also have the iconic, you know what happens to Toad when it gets struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else. That was an incredible line. It's terrible, but it's so funny. But I think the thing about this film is it takes itself very seriously, and yet it doesn't do a great job at executing what it wants to do. Like, a lot of the early 2000 Marvel films, like, not Blade, I wouldn't say Blade, but like Elektra, Daredevil, there's a few others, but all of these films are edgy, they're dark, but they also have some, like, odd decisions, and I'd say this is that, except without the odd decisions. Like, this film is just trying to be very dark, but it doesn't have the plot to hold that. And I think from what I remember from X2, that film does a way better job at balancing a good ensemble cast. Like, I feel in this film, they just don't do a good job at making us care for the other characters, because we spend a lot of time with Logan, but we spend very little time with the other X-Men and learn very little about the other X-Men. We need to be given a reason to care for them, and I don't feel like we're really ever given that reason in any of these films. And, of course, this is just the first one, so I feel like I'm going to have to wrap this one up right now. But I think this one is either going to get better or worse from the other ones. I think this film just is not... I don't think it doesn't hold up as well as I think people want it to, as well as people remember it holding up. And overall, I just don't think it's that good. I think it's decent, but I just don't think it's great. And I think I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. And I also felt myself being bored throughout it. Like, it didn't have the entertaining aspects. It wasn't great. And it just took itself too seriously to be that good. And I think that's all I have to say. I don't know how long this review was, but thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys with X2. Bye, guys.